Thank you so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, I talk about producer Dub's loyalty to his dog, along with some celeb talk. All of this, plus some ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
My brain was on the outside of my body.
Paula?
I'm not even listening to your nonsense.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 348.
We are Sisters Who Podcast.
Yes, we are. Oh, there was a couple of things I forgot to tell you about the Casey Musgraves show that I meant to tell you about.
Yeah.
So, as I told you last time, Daryl and I had really enjoyed our cocktails and really had a super great time. But there were a couple of people at the show that did just one extra cocktail and kind of ruined their whole evening.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So when we were there waiting for Casey to come out, there was a couple there. It was a lot of couples. There was a couple there, and this guy never fails. A guy showed up, and he was probably 6'9". Like, he was really, really tall. He looked like a basketball player. Mm-hmm. And his girlfriend was, tiny, of course. And he comes in, and he stands right in front of this couple where the woman is like my height. Couldn't see a thing. And the couple, they were laughing, and Daryl and I were laughing with them because we're like, this happens wherever we go, right? There's no doubt the tallest person in the room is going to stand right in front of you so you can't see shit for the entire show, right?
Basically, yeah.
And I said, so Daryl and the husband were talking, and he said, wouldn't you think that if you're that tall, you would know to stand in the back so that everyone could see, so you wouldn't be the guy that everybody's like, hey, can you move? That kind of thing.
Probably sucks, though, because, I'm sure he wants to be up close, too.
It's just etiquette to me. I don't know. I'm sorry that you're tall. I am sorry that you're tall and that you're constantly being asked to move. But I'm short, and I'm constantly asking people to move. That's just life. We all have our, burdens to bear. Anyway, so we're laughing about it because no one's going to tell this guy to move. It is what it is. And the couple standing next to us, the guy thought he was talking about him. And so he goes, what the fuck did you just say? And Daryl and I look at him and we're like, what? And he goes, no, I'm not talking about you, dude. I'm talking about that guy over there, the mountain of human that's over there. And he goes, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I said, really, guy? Really? With the hat backwards? You're gonna start shit right now? At a Casey Musgraves show?
Yeah, seriously. It's like the most mellow concert ever.
Oh my God. And she's all about like free love and all inclusive and, whatever.
Singing about rainbows and,
butterflies. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's all right, though, because he got his wife or girlfriend had one too many drinks. So they were turning to leave because she couldn't stand any longer. And she tripped over the first and only step to get out of the place and fell face first onto the floor.
Ow.
And I mean hard. I heard it through the music. We all turned. We're like, oh my God. I go, oh. And of course, because, I've had cocktails. I'm like, oh, that's that couple that thought we were talking shit about him.
Oh,
and I pointed.
God.
He had to pick her up and basically drag her out.
That's awful.
Is it though?
Well, I'm sure it hurt.
Well, she won't feel it till tomorrow. The next day.
True. She wakes up. What happened? Who beat me up?
Was it that couple?
Yeah, really.
So anyway, I wanted to tell you about that situation because I had completely forgotten to tell you about that last time we were talking about Casey Musgraves.
Right.
Anyway, so I think my dog took some chicken off of my plate after dinner one night. This is so dumb, I know, but I'm trying to explain it quickly. So we had ordered some food, and I ordered chicken breast, and it had like a little bit of fettuccine underneath, and it had a ton of green beans, and it was really yummy.
Sounds good.
It was good, and so I ate, but I couldn't. There was so much chicken. It was 2 chicken breasts, and so I'm like,
wow, that's a lot.
It was. So I ate most of one, and I said, I'm just going to save it, and I'll have the chicken in the morning for breakfast. And so I left my plate on the table to go do something. And so Daryl later said, oh, I'm going to clean this up. Well, the dogs were in because we hadn't been home all weekend, so they were super excited. So the next morning I go to have it for breakfast, and all that's in there is a little bit of this little pot butter noodles and some green beans. And I said, did you eat my chicken? And he goes, no, that's all that was in there when I put it in the dish to put it away last night. I go, no. There was a whole chicken breast and then the green beans. I don't care about the pasta because I wasn't going to eat it. And he said, no, I swear. I go, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm telling you that I did not eat all that food, that there was enough for leftovers for the next day. I think the dog ate it. Bodega wouldn't do that. I said, really?
He's an animal. Of course
really?
he would.
I said, just because he's not a savage and wouldn't come over and be like, "Har, har, har, har," doesn't mean that dog didn't come over quietly and meticulously with 2 teeth, pull that chicken out and eat it. I go, if I showed him that bowl and said, did you eat this? His ears would go down. I know it. And he's like, he wouldn't do that. I was right there. I was like 2 minutes. And I'm like, no. Your 2 minutes is like a 20-minute thing. Your concept of time is not the real concept of time. And so we had this argument about, he is defending his dog, that
He believes the dog over you?
he believes that I must have eaten all the food before and I just forgot that I ate it all, versus the dog taking a whole chicken breast off of my plate that was left unaccompanied for 5 minutes over me eating it all.
I'd be like, do you hear yourself?
I know. I know. He's like,
How did you not get livid?
I was livid. Are you kidding? I said that. I
I'd be
go,
so pissed. I'd be like, so you're believing a mute animal over your own wife?
I heated up the green beans and I said, if there is even one dog hair in this dish, it's over. And so
I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even listening to your nonsense. I know what happened here.
so
The fact that you're siding with an animal just goes to show how diminished you are in species.
So I ate the green beans and I said, I'm pretty sure there's dog hair in my mouth right now. I'm not kidding either. I wasn't making it up.
I wouldn't even be conversing with him any longer. I'd be like, this is pointless.
I said, I know he ate it. And I said, and if we had cameras in here, I'd replay the tape and you would be losing right now. This is all about, you just don't want to believe it. But it's true. It happened.
That's
Dogs. I swear.
I don't even know what to say.
It's crazy, right? I'm like, a man and his dog. No wonder they're man's best friend.
I just don't even, that was a completely pointless conversation.
Bodega's your ride or die now.
Well, you guys
Anyway.
can ride or die out of the house.
Okay, so celeb talk. There's a little bit of news we need to discuss.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Lady Gaga or Miranda Lambert?
We'll start with Lady Gaga.
Okay.
So 2 things. It is rumored that her and her, I forgot her fiance's name, that they have allegedly have broken up.
Oh.
He was not at the Grammys with her. And when she accepted her Grammy, she did not thank him personally in her speech. And she was also not wearing her engagement ring. They tried to, brush it off as, oh, well, she was performing. Of course she wasn't wearing her engagement ring.
Right.
But, when she was wearing her dress and accepting, the award and her speech and everything, she wasn't wearing it then either. So,
Interesting.
and we know Bradley Cooper obviously wasn't there because he was in Europe.
Playing husband with his girlfriend.
Exactly. So there's still no clarity on whether they have officially broken up or not, but it's kind of looking like they're in Splitsville.
It sounds like they're trying to lie through the award season, because the last thing you need is there to be a split right before the Oscars.
Especially when there's so much bad press going on right now.
Is it bad press now?
I think it is.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I think a lot of people are, no, I don't want to say sick of it, but they're just kind of not liking the way things are going with them. It's just,
when you have someone like when you have an artist who's very emotional and open about her feelings on anything, it would probably be damn near impossible for her to lie about her affections for someone like Bradley Cooper if she was You know what I mean?
Well, and I don't think she's trying to hide it either. And I don't know if that's like a wooing.
God, I feel like I've seen this girl 100 times in the club. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's like a wooing not contact
Tactic,
or if it's, or she just truly cannot hide it. I mean, I think you can truly hide it if you want to. I don't think she wants to.
Yeah, she's just so full of love and affection and appreciation.
And the fact that, when she accepted the Grammy, she just continued to gush about Bradley Cooper. But, I forgot to thank my fiance,
Honestly, Paula, we all gush about a celeb, but we just didn't work with them and do this incredibly intimate film that everyone in the world is talking about.
But I mean, was it really all that intimate? I mean,
from what I understand, it was. I mean, I hate that I haven't seen it. I have to tell you, it was on the top of my list. The problem was I didn't want to go with Daryl. I wanted to go with a girlfriend,
right?
Because from what I understand, is although you would be mad at me, it's supposed to be quite emotional, and I felt like wanting to go and really just get into it. And not have to worry about someone looking at me in sadness that I'm emotional in public.
Emotional, I get, but like intimate, and like sexual and all of those things, I think are different.
I think there's a sex scene.
I mean, there might be one, but I
don't know. I need to see it. I have to see this movie now.
Right. So then the other thing is Lady Gaga posted to her Instagram, I believe. Mm-hmm. She got a new tattoo. It's music notes on like a music like a little sheet or not like a whole sheet, but just the lines.
Oh yes,
and 4 little music notes.
Oh, cute.
So
that's a cute one.
If the notes spell Gaga, if you're looking at it in a treble clef.
Okay.
If you're looking at it as a bass clef, they spell BCBC.
Oh, no.
So
it's androgynous.
It could be up to interpretation.
It could be both.
So that was interesting.
So she could basically say, no, it says Gaga. But in her mind, she's like, it says Bradley Cooper.
It's Bradley Cooper.
What?
So, and that was noted on Twitter quite a few times, is people say the notes spell Gaga in the treble clef. They spell BCBC in the bass clef. They really complete each other.
No, you guys, stop it. It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it happen.
I don't think they are. I think she is.
I agree. That and the public. They clearly had some kind of on-screen chemistry, and I mean, I think you weren't even the first person to tell me that it seemed very apparent to me that there was next level intimacy in the film. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean sex, just the chemistry was very intense. I don't know, man. I mean, I have no judgment. I don't care. I don't care, but maybe they were like that. They're like, look, yes. They're not going to admit it to the public or anything, but it's like, yes, it happened. I'm sorry. We're moving on. And Gaga's like, oh, wait, oh, no, I'm not moving on. Excuse me. Right. That was the best sex I've had in a really long time. And I'm engaged to a 50-year-old and I'm, 28. So I'm just saying,
And I think that's the thing is now the more I see them at these award shows, the more I'm reminded of how strange she is and how
she's still very creative. Yes.
And how normal he is. And when I look at the movie, they both look relatively normal. So I can see why he would be probably interested during the filming of the movie. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, it's over. You're weird,
Well, this is not his first go round in films. I believe this is her first big production film, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't feel for her because I'm not that kind of woman. But really, what was he doing? What was he thinking? if they did have some kind of little fling on set, what was he thinking would happen?
He was thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah, clearly.
That's what he was thinking.
And we're allowed to make all the assumptions we want because she's really putting it all out there for us. So we get to kind of put it all together ourselves.
She's got a great body and she's got big boobs. And
she's talented and she's beautiful.
And so, I mean, you know, and maybe he always wanted to do some singing. And so she, you know, she was stroking his ego and, you know, all that. I mean, it just makes for the perfect, you know, accident. I don't know.
Here's what's funny about what I've heard and read and even listened to some of his interviews. He is very close to his family, very, very family oriented person. And as you and I have discussed before, he has paraded through many women that his mother absolutely says, absolutely not. No, not going to happen. And so they ultimately don't work out. And then he met his current girlfriend, who is his baby mama, and they're still together. I can't remember her name. Is it Irina?
I think she's like some Russian model.
She's a model. She's stunning.
Yeah,
and he obviously he has a type. They are all tall and dark, and that's he likes the darker women, and that's fine. I mean, they're beautiful, and so this one stuck for some reason. The mom was like, "Yeah, okay, this will work."
Well, I think he got her pregnant. To be honest,
he did.
I don't think it was like, "Hey, you know, we're going to be a thing and let's have a family." I think she just got knocked up.
Well, she did, but mom still approved,
right?
And so she's still around.
So that meant a lot to him.
I think the idea of if it's public knowledge in his private life that this occurred, mom is like, I don't know what you think you're doing. Set it right. Make it right. Stop it.
Get your head on straight.
Yeah, straighten up because this is not going well for you. And so he's like, all right, that's it. No more scenes together with Gaga in the public. I'm going to England. I'm not going to support anything at the Grammys and just Oscars. We will see where that lies. We'll see what happens there. If he's flanked by his wife and all the other producers and directors and then Gaga away at the end, we'll find out.
I mean, he's just got one more award show and then he is rid of it. So.
Yes. So we'll see. Interesting. Okay. So Miranda Lambert, this is Miranda Lambert's third marriage, apparently.
I thought it was only her second.
Well, she was married to Blake Shelton, and apparently she was married for about a second to another dude, and then that didn't work out, and now she got married to this New York City cop.
Who is 24 years old.
Yes, and she's 32? 31, 32?
34, I think. Or 32?
I read a little blurb about this gentleman. We have no idea how they met. We know nothing about anything.
So they met at the VMAs. Whoops.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know anything about their meeting.
Okay, so they met at the VMAs in November, and they started dating right away. And then allegedly they got married, I think, at the end of January.
Okay.
And they just chose to wait until Valentine's Day to announce their marriage.
Oh.
And so they did not date long at all.
She is not much for browsing when it comes to settling down. She does have a little bit of a problem, though, and that's this. Every man that she ends up with for some period of time, they've had to break up with somebody to be with her, including this gentleman.
Well, supposedly, this gentleman has a 3-month-old baby.
Yes.
And what they're saying is that him and the baby mama broke up, and then she found out she was pregnant.
This is what I read today. Before Miranda Lambert was even in the picture. This boy was engaged. Cheated on the fiance with the baby mama. The baby mama got pregnant. The fiance broke it off. And then he met Miranda Lambert.
I see.
And that's the situation, from what I understand. The problem is, so this would be the first time that he didn't end a man didn't end anything to be with Miranda Lambert. But every other boyfriend she's had, they've usually had to divorce or move out of a relationship that they had been in to be with her. And then she dumps them like less than 6 months later.
And what's difficult about this one is he's so young.
Yeah.
And
Very young.
he does not intend on leaving New York or the police force.
So what is she going to do? Not live in Oklahoma anymore?
She is going to live in Oklahoma. They will just be flying the friendly skies to do the long distance thing.
Well, she does tour a lot and she does travel a lot, so that might work out. Look.
This whole thing is bizarre.
Is it going to stick? What do we know? History would indicate no. But I mean, what do we know? What do we know? I love Miranda Lambert, so it's hard, but I can separate someone's personal choices over their music.
Oh,
because,
sure.
Whatever. I obviously wish her the best. I just don't understand these women who think they have to get married. Like, why is that the thing? Why can't you just be,
Maybe she just likes being married.
Yeah, but she's not going to even live with him. We're not talking about a guy who's going to, or either one of them are going to uproot their lives and be.
But I mean, for her and for her, job, no matter who she's married to, she's never going to be with them.
Yeah, I guess. 24 is so young.
It's not, 24 is ridiculous.
Although, honestly, who says no to a celebrity proposal? That's really hard to say no to, even if it only lasts a year. You know what I mean? That's hard to say no to. They got married so fast.
A prenup?
I don't even know. And that's the thing, is they got married so fast. Was there even any chance to just let the celebrity stardom wear off? Or is he still completely in awe of the fact that he's sleeping with a celebrity? Like, that's still there. It hasn't even been that long.
And now that it's public, they kept this thing under wraps tight.
Yeah, they did. They really did. Interesting. Nobody even knew who he was. It took days to find out who he was.
It did. No one had no freaking clue who this guy was.
Which is good. It's good. Hey, maybe this is like the modern day Notting Hill. The famous girl finds the average guy and it works out. You never know.
Yeah, but not with like a 10-year separation with a newborn. That's
from
really
another
weird.
Woman that wasn't your fiance before.
And what I read is that they have 50-50 custody.
Oh.
So how's that going to work?
I don't know. Can't even
maybe they'll
imagine.
be buying a place somewhere in New York.
I don't know, man. They're obviously not interested in giving the public any detail, so.
Well, I don't know that they know. You know what I mean?
They haven't decided yet.
Probably haven't figured it out because she's still touring.
Well, maybe that's why they kept it under wraps. They're like, we really don't know how this is going to work out yet, so why would we tell our publicist to issue anything until we know what we're doing? That's crazy. It's crazy.
It's totally bizarre. And I wonder how she met him at the VMAs.
Well, he's a cop. Maybe he was doing security.
I'm just wondering where the VMAs were. They weren't in New York, were they?
I believe they're in New York. Yeah.
So maybe he was doing extra security or something like that? Or...
God, can you imagine catching a cute cop's eye on the red carpet and then summoning him? That's insane.
I can imagine catching a cute cop's eye now.
I don't know if I'd want to marry it or date a cop.
I think I'm kind of done with the uniform thing.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. You have to. It takes a very special person to not put up. That's not even the right word. To be with someone whose job is their life.
It's so much sacrifice.
It's a lot of sacrifice for everybody, not just you, not just the spouse, but for anyone who chooses that life. It's really hard. I know it's very common for people in the military to get into law enforcement, but I don't know if I would want either of those things. That's a lot to me. It's a lot of anxiety and a lot of unknowns and a lot of crazy hours. And
and the thing is the job always comes first,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Is that's why it takes a special spouse to be able to endure it. I think it's enduring it personally.
And it dictates your life no matter what. Even if let's say, you aren't together anymore, it's still going to dictate your life.
For sure.
So
anyway, well, good luck to you, Miranda. I love you.
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
The next album should be amazing. That's all I know.
I'm just baffled by the whole thing. I think it's crazy.
It is crazy. When it is crazy, when it feels crazy, it probably is crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Doesn't it feel like that would be one of those things where you wake up the next morning and go, what did we do? You know, that kind of thing.
I would think so, but maybe not. I mean, I don't know what her thought process is, but maybe she's a good talent and all that stuff, but just has terrible taste in men. I don't know. But she kind of dates nobodies. I mean, with the exception of Blake Shelton.
Yeah. It seems to me the pattern I see is she keeps falling in love. She's the side piece, and she keeps falling in love with the guy instead of wanting to stay the side piece. And somehow she tries to become the alpha when she was the side piece. Like, that seems to be her pattern.
Like, she's trying to change it up now, you think?
Well, no, this guy, I believe, I'll have to reread it again, but I maybe he was engaged when he met her. I'm not sure, but you're right, maybe. But he has other commitments that take precedent over her. And so maybe the child thing will finally be the thing that changes that, because she can't be number one.
That's not going to work. I mean, I don't see him staying on the police force for very long.
If he wants to, I don't know, man.
He's probably going to take over her head of security or something like that.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe he's just not saying anything.
But I mean, that's going to be sad, because I'm sure that's not what he planned for his life. I'm sure he wanted to be a cop. And he
New York City cop too, by the way.
He probably never thought he was going to leave New York, and he probably never thought he was, now that he has a child, that he was ever going to be away from it.
NYPD is no joke.
Right.
That's not, I don't know how hard or easy it is to get on the force, but that has a lot of history and legacy attached to it. You don't you're not just a cop in New York. It's a serious badge of honor. So I'm with you. I don't think he's going to let that go too easily. So maybe she's considering this a challenge. Maybe it's a challenge.
I have no idea what she's doing.
Yeah, very strange.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Cray.
Anyway, all right. Well, actually, we're going to move to our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
I don't have one this week. Again, you know what? I have been so stressed out this week with job hunting, and then I did the taxes, so I literally have not been out doing
Do you owe
anything.
money? Did you guys owe this year?
We did not.
Oh, thank goodness. I keep reading all of these scary articles about how Americans are shocked that they owe.
Well, I think what they did was with the taxes is they changed or got rid of some of the normal deductions or deductions that they had previously. And so that probably eliminated.
So if you relied on those deductions to get a payback,
well, you probably didn't realize that they were deductions that you had available to you before. And so now that they're gone, it probably reduced the amount of money that you would have gotten before.
Yeah.
And so people are just like, why? Normally I get $10,000 for me and my 4 dependents, but now you're only getting 8,000 or 7,000.
Oh, okay. So it's not as savage as everybody's saying.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of money if you're
I know,
planning on getting a certain amount and you're like getting $3,000 less.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do rely on their return as like the big thing that, will pay for their vacation or pay off their bills or something like that. That is true. Or
they were going to buy a car or,
yeah.
Whatever it is they were going to do. So
anyway, all right. Well, I'll let it slide since you were doing.
I'm sorry. I'll try.
You're going to have to get out there and talk to people.
I'll have to do something. I know.
Actually, what's really funny is so John Legend and Chrissy Teigen and their family did Celebrity Family Feud, and I don't know when it airs.
Oh, okay.
But I really like her. I think she's funny, and she's super huggly. So she said, well, I can't tell you if we win or lost or not, but I will tell you that I cracked my tooth on the show. I was like, she went in hard on that mic. or something, right?
That's really hard to do.
Or she probably turned and kissed John Legend real hard and got excited and whacked her face on his face or something. She has her center of gravity, like mine were my knees. I used to fall all the time and my knees just took the brunt of it. I have so many scars on my knees from falling and skidding my knees and stuff, even as an adult. Her center of gravity is her face. She seems to hurt her face a lot.
Mine are my hips. I bump those things on everything.
Oh, God, that's so funny, really.
They're always covered in bruises. Sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, wow, that does look bad.
That happens to me, too. I have a scratch on my finger. I have no idea where it came from. I thought it was like, I'm like, what is that? Did I get a hangnail and it started bleeding? I thought maybe it was like dried blood or whatever. So I washed my hands. I'm like, oh, no, that's a scratch, like a real scratch. I don't even know where it came from. I have no idea.
It's weird.
Crazy. Anyway, my awkward moment. Okay, now listen. This is why we're going to this right away. It was at the Casey Musgrave show, of course.
Okay.
It was when I reunited with my high school friend.
Okay.
Amazing creature. He's an amazing human being. He is a teacher. He's a saint. And I met his partner. I met his girl, his friends that were there. They were all four of them were together at this show. They too had some terrible people in front of them, which we found to be hilarious. So we were talking about that. Now I am 6 or 7 cocktails in. That is that's a metric shit ton of alcohol for me.
That's a ton.
I mean, after 2 glasses of wine, I'm usually done. I never have this much alcohol, but we were just going crazy. We were just having so much fun. So I assumed that I was okay talking to them. And now, of course, I've got a million regrets because I'm like, what if I was slurring? What if I was saying things? I do remember one thing I did say.
Oh, God.
I'm so embarrassed. So
what did you say?
I said, we were talking about the terrible people that were in front of us for the show. He goes, oh my God, we had terrible people too. And I said, and you know what else I noticed? He goes, what? I said, not one black person here. And he goes, I go, wait, I take it back. There was one, but he worked here. And he goes, I noticed that too. And now listen, I don't know if he was just playing along because I was clearly intoxicated or if he truly thought that as well. And I said, I was a bit surprised because she said, this is the new country, all inclusive. And there weren't any people of color there. To me, I thought that was a little crazy. And I was like, afterwards, I told Daryl, I said, I told him there were no black people at the show. And he's like, what? Why did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Why is this necessary information in life?
It's not. It isn't. It isn't necessary at all. And I'm so observant whenever I go anywhere and I catalog all the things. And of all the things that I had to catalog, why couldn't I tell him about the catatonic woman instead? You know what I mean? It was insane. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's different.
And then I told him, and then he goes, God, you look so great. I go, Brent, you haven't aged at all. He goes, oh my God, thank you. He goes, yeah, we look really good. I'm really surprised. A lot of the classmates that we grew up, that we graduated with, everybody's aging so well. It's amazing. And I said, well, us progressives, we age great. Like, what does that even mean? I don't even know. That doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It's stupid.
Yeah, you were a little out there.
I am really sorry to my classmate that if I seemed incoherent, that is not who I am. Well, it is, but it was like my
After 6 cocktails.
After 6 cocktails, that's what you get. Basically, my brain was on the outside of my body. The filter, none. This is if you want to know what I think about, you found out. All the time that evening. It was just crazy. Full ugh.
I wonder if there were no other people besides white people at the concert, if it's because it was a country concert perhaps, and she doesn't draw a crowd other than Caucasians.
Well, for now, but I do believe now that people know who she is, because a lot of people had no idea who she was. Like, who won album of the year? Like, she was kind of below the radar. I think that will change a bit, but you're right. It is because it was a country show that it was predominantly white. We ran into these two women at the Tonga room, and they were saying, "Oh, are you going to the show tonight?" We're like, "Yeah, we're super excited." Da da da. We ran into them like 5 times, and eventually I just was like, "Hey!" and I would just point at them whenever I saw them.
God, you guys talk to a lot of people.
We're very friendly faces.
I don't talk to anyone. Victor talks to a lot of people. I don't.
I don't know. We seemed approachable, but I think it's because my walls were down because I had some alcohol. I was relaxed. I must look really scary when I'm sober. That's the only thing I can think of. I must look intimidating.
Usually my brow is furrowed and I kind of just stare at him like, don't look at me.
I do have that look. And you know what's great about me that I realized is that I'm a pretty happy drunk. At no time did I feel confrontational. I was very free loving. I was like, hey, let it go. Who cares? What does it matter? You know, that was pretty much my mantra for the rest of the evening.
Were you smoking pot?
No, we did nothing. I thought about it, but I didn't prepare. I didn't bring anything with me.
Oh, I'm like, what do you need to prepare for? You
need to buy it. You need to buy it. I actually don't like getting high. I just turn into an old cat. I
get paranoid. I wind up sitting in a chair, the fetal position, rocking back and forth for like 4 hours.
Does anybody want to buy my shirt for a grilled cheese sandwich?
Someone hold me tighter. Tighter!
Can I just get in your skin?
Is that my mom? Is she coming over?
Can someone call my mom? I think I'm lost.
No, don't call my mom. That was one of the times where I'm just like, look out the window. Was that my mom's car?
Oh my God. Yeah. Don't do that. So anyway.
I was terrified.
God, I just. Okay, so 6 alcoholic beverages is too many to be talking to someone I haven't seen in decades, first of all. Mm-hmm. The only way it could have been worse if I had run into like an ex-boyfriend or something. Oh my God. Can you imagine this scenario?
I don't know that I would recognize any. Maybe I would. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't even acknowledge him. I'd be like,
who are you again? See, that's the thing. That's happened to me before. I ran into somebody.
I might give him like a half smile and just move on.
I ran into somebody at the grocery store once that I had had sex with for like a week, and I barely even remembered his name. Literally couldn't remember his name. He's like, Jamie, is that you? Hi. And I'm like, hi. I don't remember you at all. I don't know what would be worse. Not remembering you because the sex was so uneventful. I just could not recall your name whatsoever.
I still can't remember the one. It's driving me nuts.
Or remembering that it was so bad that you remember the name. You know,
no, I remember. It was the one that went outside to feed its dogs after I gave him a blowjob.
Oh, Quick Draw?
No, that was a different one.
Oh.
But I can't remember his name.
It wasn't the same. Was his name Rusty?
No. I want to say it was Chris, but I just can't remember.
Was he the daycare guy? The guy you met at daycare?
No, that was Dan.
That's the Quick Draw?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, you're right. That was a different guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. Men are dumb.
I just need my white book. That's all I need. It's in there.
I
don't know.
That's not good. That's unsettling to know it's out there somewhere in space.
No, it's probably in my garage, but...
Anyway, so that was my awkward moment, and I feel like I should apologize, but it really wasn't anything offensive. It was just the most oddest, weirdest thing to say to someone I haven't seen in decades.
Of all the things you noticed,
of all the things. Yeah, why couldn't I say, oh yeah, the somebody fell and on their face, or the tall guy,
the cackling hens, and I helped her thigh, and you know,
I held a watermelon, I held her thigh.
But instead, there's no black people here.
I felt so stupid. Even after I said it, I was like, why did I say that? Oh God. And then his boyfriend was like, let's take a picture. I'm like, yes, let's remember this momentous occasion, shall we?
Say black people. Geez.
Say black people. God.
You're such a nerd.
So I know. Oh my God, I know. I really am. Just such an awkward dork.
Well, obviously you win this week for being inappropriate.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap, friends, for this weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed your time off as you head back to work. As discussed last week, it is getting close to Easter, believe it or not. So please visit Amazon.com. You can get to that from our link. If you go to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button, and you can get all your pink, blue, and yellow pastel things and chocolates and peeps and whatnot through there. It comes right to your door, so you don't have to fight the people at the store last minute like I usually do every year. I don't know why I do that.
Take your own advice. Get your baskets.
Every year I find myself at Walmart, Target, or Walgreens
at 11 o'clock at night,
fighting the herds, trying to find eggs.
True.
It's just Easter is my nemesis. I don't know what it is about Easter.
Yeah,
I think I just hate it so bad.
We kind of stopped doing it now that everybody's adults. We kind of don't do that anymore.
Did I tell you I had told Olivia the tooth fairy wasn't real?
Did you?
I know. She had her tooth under her pillow for like a week, and I kept forgetting.
Oh, Paula, you're the worst.
I know. And so, and I kept forgetting, like, because you have to get ones. And so I'm just like, oh, crap, I keep forgetting to pull out money at the bank, go and buy something and get the ones and, the whole shebang. And so I finally just told her that I was the tooth fairy. And
what did she do?
She cried.
She cried?
Yes, she's an emotional creature.
Wow.
So,
well, I mean,
I told her I'd give her money anyway when she loses her teeth, but
yeah, just because you're the tooth fairy doesn't mean, God, Paula, what are you going to do when Christmas becomes just the spirit of the season?
Well, I think what upset her the most is someone at school, she had told them that she lost a tooth and she was waiting for the tooth fairy. And someone had told her that the tooth fairy wasn't real.
Oh, and you're going to have to beat it to the punch.
And she's like, no, that's not true. And so then when I told her, I think she was like especially hurt because...
Did she turn to you and say, you lied to me?
No, but I think she was just especially hurt because someone had just told her that the tooth fairy wasn't real. And she really believed it was.
Okay, strong suggestion. She's going to be 10 this year. You're getting to the weird phase of age where you're going to have to decide. And she's not going to be like Ryan where he just figures it out. She wants to believe.
I think Brian was like 11 or 12 when we told him.
That's a little old, Paula.
I know. I didn't want the magic to end.
Well, the thing is, here's the way I look at it. The magic doesn't have to end. It's just like Disneyland stuff. The magic doesn't really end. Once they realize that there are people in those things, it's still a magical place. It still has an air of whimsy if you allow it, Now, as adults, Daryl and I, because we have the ATM card, we know that you pay a lot for that whimsy, but, still there are times when you can really get into it. Unfortunately, when I go on the rides, I see all the cracks in the dirt and the straws at the bottom and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't ignore it and enjoy it. So holidays are kind of the same thing where you can go, look, Santa may not be like a real human being, but he's the epitome of the spirit of the season. And that's what it's all about, really. It doesn't matter about the gifts isn't really the thing anyway. And when you get older, you realize that it's about being with family and having a lovely morning together or your traditions, whatever those are. So maybe when she gets a little bit older, you can reason with her that Santa doesn't even need to be real. It can be anything. It is.
She loves doing the Santa tracker, and they're like, he's in Puerto Rico, and the milk and the cookies and the carrots. And
I will tell you this: Daryl still watches the Santa tracker. It doesn't matter that he's not real. That's my point. It's all about the tradition and the fun, and if they have all of that. It doesn't matter if he's truly legit. I mean, she knows the elf ain't real now, right?
Yes, but that was my fault because I was beyond exhausted, apparently. And I said, so, Amal, where do you want to hide Buddy tonight?
She's like, what are you talking about?
She just kind of looked at me. She didn't say anything, but I guess the next year told me I said that. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, so Buddy the Elf is just a doll that we bought at Target.
He's in a box in our closet.
Yeah, so my point is that, but you know what? I know I have friends who still do Buddy the Elf or whatever their elf name is, and their kids aren't even living there anymore. Like, they still have it out.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't do it every day.
I didn't realize it was such a commitment.
It can be. It can be. We never did it. It was a little before our time.
Yeah.
But I just have such a hard time being dishonest with the children. So when the whole Santa situation came up, we just said, it's really about the spirit of the season, and left it at that. And we have so many hardcore traditions now that's what they look forward to more than anything else.
Right.
So that'll be for her. She's a little young though. I wouldn't be pushing the chapter closing yet, but I mean, it's gonna get to a point where she's gonna be like, Susie said Santa wasn't real. And you're going to be like,
tell Susie to shut the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, we all know that doesn't work well with her.
She would never.
She'd be like, I'm not going to tell her that.
She's like, Mom, you said the F word.
Yes.
So
anyways.
All right. Well, thank everybody for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday. Yes. Have a fabulous week, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.